Woo doggy, it is a hot, humid day here in North Florida. Heat index is going to push well over 100 degrees, but we got a lot of grass to mow and we've got an interesting video for you today. So today we're going to be using the Kubota ZD 1011 diesel zero turn to show a new set of blades. What we've got is a set of blades called Cutlass Blades, and they're a lot like a brush hog blade where they're hinged on the end, but they have 4 cutting surfaces as opposed to a regular lawnmower blade that only has 2 cutting surfaces. So this is the Cutlass blade and this is a regular mower blade. We'll put this blade back because you guys know what they are, and we'll talk about this Cutlass blade. Now, last year we partnered with Cutlass Blades to get a set of blades for our finish mower. So on our John Deere 72-inch finish mower, we have a set of Cutlass blades out there. We have a video, I'll link it down below. And we've done, I'd say 5 or 6 acres with that particular set of blades. And I'll go pull a blade here in a minute and show you what it looks like. But the problem that we were having is because our Bahia grass out here is very stringy, it's a very tough grass, and also it's Florida, so there's a lot of sand in our grass, and also we have a lot of pebbles in our soil. So we were rounding off mower blades like every time we mowed, and these blades are hardened, so they're gonna last longer. But that doesn't mean they're going to last forever. I actually had a viewer send me some pictures of Cutlass blades he used, and he said he cut 6 acres for an entire summer and wore out a set of blades. And I'd have to say, I would expect that. 6 acres is a lot. Everything that you see behind me would be 5 acres. So imagine cutting this every week in Florida where you cut from April until November. I fully expect you're going to wear out a set of blades. But the beautiful part about that is that you don't have to replace this whole piece on your mower. Once you've mounted this on your mower, you just snap off these blades. And these blades come off without any tools. You lift this little tang right here up and this blade comes out. It's easier if you put it down on the table. But we used them on the finish mower last year and we really liked them. They do a great job of pulverizing the grass, really reduce your mulch down to just really small pieces, and lets your grass deteriorate or become part of the soil quicker than if you leave a lot of long stemmy pieces. And from what we've seen so far, and we're only, one mowing season into this test, they last longer than regular blades. So one thing that on our last video that I saw several comments on is when they went to the website, they didn't see that the type of blades we were using on the finish mower was the same as the picture on Cutlass website. This is the base plate of a Cutlass blade right here, and you see it has these round pieces that come off from the square. And they have a bunch of these pre-made. Their newer model, or their newer way that they did it, is the model we got last year, which is completely square, and the blades come off the corners of the square instead of having this little ear right here. And what they told me, I was talking to Larry Coons there at Cutlass Blades, what he said is that they have a lot of stock of these already made. So if these fit your mower, this is the style you'll get until they deplete that stock. And going forward, they're all going to be of the square variety. So don't be alarmed if you go there and you look at my other video and you see the square style, and on the web page they have this style. Either way, they're balanced, they're cut correctly for the dimensions of your mower, the diameter of the hole, all of that is all going to be correct no matter whether you get the older style blade or the newer style blade. But let me go pull that blade off of the finish mower, and then what we're going to do is we're going to mow a little bit of this Bahia with sharpened blades on the mower. I'll do like 3 passes or so, so like 6 stripes. And then I will switch over to these blades and we'll do 6 stripes or so, and we'll do a direct comparison to them. And I think what we're going to find, based on our findings last year, is that these are going to do a better job of mulching, better job of cutting in general. The beauty of these blades is not just in the cutting ability or their ability to mulch, but that they're going to last longer and not get as dull because they're hardened blades. And also when they do wear out, they're easy to change just the blade and you don't have to change the centerpiece. I got a blade off of that finish mower, and you can see there's a little bit of dent in the hardened edge from the pebbles that I talked about earlier. But all in all, the blade is still fairly sharp. And this is after probably 5 to 7 acres of mowing. It's not that bad. I would still mow with this several more times before I would think about taking them off and sharpening them. And after they get worn to the point where you don't want to sharpen them anymore, I mean, you got quite a bit of sharpening you could do back to here, then you can replace them. Instead of replacing the whole assembly, you can just buy these blades for about, I think it's $9 a piece. So you would buy new blades, change them out real quick, and then you'd be good to go for another season or two of mowing. And if you mow a lot less than us, they may actually last you up to 5 years or so. And we have a discount, so we're going to put in the description and the pinned comment down below, we'll put a link to Cutlass Blades and also the code you use to get a discount from Piney Grove Homestead. But I've seen some comments of they're expensive and oh, it's cheaper to just use regular blades and replace your blades every year. They may be a bit more expensive, but in my opinion, having used them for about a year, you don't have to sharpen them as much. I would have already had to have sharpened a regular blade at least twice to get the same amount of mowing as I got out of that blade I just showed you. And also there's the ease. I can go underneath there and without taking an impact wrench or anything and removing the blade, because you have to remove a blade to sharpen it on a traditional blade, I can just pull those ends off and sharpen them. And also there are 4 times 3, there's 12 cutting edges instead of 3 times 2 or 6 cutting edges. So each blade's doing less work and each blade is available to cut, so you can mulch more and you just get a cleaner cut. So it's not always about price. There's a little bit of convenience factor here with not having to remove the blades. They may be a little bit more expensive, but you're getting a better cut and the centerpiece is literally going to last forever. So I think you got to measure those trade-offs for yourself and see what it's worth to you. But for us, we really enjoy them, and we enjoy the fact that if we want to keep our grass healthy, that we don't have to sharpen every time after we mow. Let's do some mowing with the traditional blades first. So that's the baseline. You see this grass is pretty tall. It should have been cut last week, but I think that makes for a good test. And once I did my initial pass through here, I threw all the clippings to the center. So let me grab these clippings and show you what they look like. And these are the traditional blades with a fresh sharpening on them. We have a sharpening tool and we'll link that video down below, and it puts a precise angle on the blades so the blades are sharpened to factory specs. So this was a good test of new blades, freshly sharpened blades on a mower, and it did a fabulous job. That Kubota diesel mower is a great mower, and you put fresh blades on it, it just gives you as good a cut as you would want. Overall, I don't see any problems with this. There's a few stems out there because Bahia is a stemmy grass, and I was going slow. This is not a speed test. This is just about cut quality and the difference between the Cutlass blades and traditional blades. But these are pretty long stems, right? There's a long stem right there. Most of this is long stems, and it looks good, and this will dry and incorporate back into the soil, and not really a problem. But I think what we'll see is when we throw the Cutlass blades on there, that we're gonna get all of this thatch is gonna be cut up a lot more fine, and it's gonna disperse better, and it'll biodegrade, or it'll degrade quicker. And as far as will the Cutlass do a better cut, we'll see right at the end of this video. It's probably gonna do about the same, but what's it gonna do 4 cuttings from now when the Cutlass blade is still sharp and these blades would be dull and they would be ripping the grass instead of cutting it? So while the blades are sharp, Miss Piney Grove is going to mow the rest of the property. She's getting her Bluetooth radio and all her stuff together. So she's going to have the mower for the next few hours until those blades get dull. And then she'll give me the mower back and we'll finish this test. Deb gave me the mower back with the skies looking like that and a lot of thunder to the north. But I think we have enough time to swap out these blades and finish this test. Now I'd say Deb mowed a couple of acres, so I'll actually show you these blades which were freshly sharpened before she started mowing. And they're not too bad, but they're definitely not as sharp as those Cutlass blades that have cut a lot more, or that I took off that John Deere finish mower. I'll take off that last one. But you can see the blades are a little rounded, but not bad. I mean, you could keep cutting with these. These probably still have several more acres in them. But for a direct comparison, this is that blade I showed you earlier from Cutlass. The blade on the left from Cutlass has cut 7 acres or so, And the blade on the right is a Kubota genuine mower blade that I just sharpened, and that cut about 2 acres since the first segment of this video. So whatever steel they use on the Cutlass blade holds up better in our grass and our mowing environment than these OEM Kubota blades. I got all 3 of the Cutlass blades on there, ready to go mowing. So you can see where I cut that grass earlier as part of the video. I think the best and fairest way to do it is take this chunk of grass and do 6 passes or 5 passes with the Cutlass blades and then compare to thatch. Now that thatch has had several hours to dry, but I think we're still going to see a difference, and we can go back and reference the last footage that we had. So doing that side-by-side comparison there with the grass right next to the grass the traditional blades cut, there should be no doubt that's a fair test for both. So let's take a look and see which one left more stems. You probably can't tell, but this is 54 inches of traditional, 54 inches of Cutlass. And as you look across there, it looks exactly the same. We'll get to the thatch in a minute, but as far as just the cut, it looks exactly the same. But as I look here, then I look over there, there's some stems. There's some stems, there's some stems. There's 1 or 2 stems here, but the Cutlass blades are leaving more stems. And like I said, you can't tell it from a distance, but if you were walking this field, you could tell the path of the Cutlass blades leaves more of the Bahia stems. I mentioned earlier we are using Cutlass blades on our 6-foot finish mower that we tow behind our tractor. And it's the same concept, 3 spindles, 3 blades, and just like a zero-turn mower. And that thick grass over there, and that's our pasture, that's allowed to get a lot taller than this area here. This stays mowed more often. And we didn't see the blades leaving stems, and the tip-to-tip clearance was the same, 1/4 inch or less. So I can't explain the few stems that it's leaving here. So let's go over and look at the thatch and see how the thatch is from the Cutlass blades. Now to me, the velocity was just obvious. The velocity of the clippings coming out with the Cutlass blades was way greater than the velocity of traditional blades. And I've done a lot of mowing with this mower, and I noticed that immediately. You look across here and they're definitely dispersed more. They go out farther. And are they shorter? Are they smaller clippings? I think they are. The grass pieces are only a couple inches long. So I think with all those extra blades on the Cutlass blades, it's definitely cutting the thatch up and throwing it farther. The only issue is with stemmy grass, and I don't know if it's the way the blades interact at the end, but they're the same exact width blades. I put them up on a table. I measured them when I ordered them. They were 18.5 inches. So they are the same width. So there shouldn't be any tip-to-tip gaps or anything. And it could be a lift thing, I don't know. But when you look across here with the naked eye, it looks similar. But the traditional blades handle stemmy grass better. The other grass and the grass that didn't have stems, I would say the cut quality is about the same. They look like they're going to last more mowing. So I can probably get 5 or 6 mowings, and that's the good part of the summer, out of the blades before I have to sharpen them. And we'll see. Stay tuned to the channel. We're going to leave these blades on the Kubota Zero Turn, and we're going to keep using them and see, you know, if they do have that same wear factor or wearability that the blade that I took off of the finish mower has. It's the same hardened steel, so it should. But overall, I'm pleased with the performance. If I don't have to sharpen a lot, then that's a win for me. But hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please click that like button. But until next time, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard.